Mix and match.
The secrets of the Great Wall of China, more than just a wall. The Great Wall of China. One of the wonders of the world. For many of us, it's a symbol of the grandeur and might of ancient China. You've probably heard that this wall was built to defend the empire from invaders. But the truth is, the story of the Great Wall is much more complex than that. It's a story of ambition, sacrifice, and surprising secrets hidden within its ancient stones. What if I told you the Great Wall wasn't just a defensive structure, that it wasn't even a single wall, and that it wasn't impenetrable? This ancient marvel is far more than we imagine, and today I'm going to take you through its incredible history and fascinating details that go far beyond just being a wall. Let's start with the basics. The Great Wall isn't just one continuous structure, it's a series of walls, built over centuries by different Chinese dynasties. Stretching over 13,000 miles, the wall we know today was mostly built during the Ming Dynasty, from the 14th to the 17th centuries. But the idea of fortifying China's northern borders started much earlier, over 2,000 years ago, under China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang. Qin Shi Huang was a man obsessed with power and control. You've probably heard of him. He's the same emperor who had an entire army of terracotta warriors made to guard him in the afterlife. But his most ambitious project was the Great Wall, and it came at a high cost. Thousands of workers, peasants, soldiers, and even prisoners were forced to work on the wall, often under brutal conditions. Many didn't survive the harsh winters, exhaustion, and starvation. Legend has it that the bodies of those who died during construction were buried within the wall itself, turning it into not just a barrier, but a graveyard. This is why some historians refer to it as the world's longest cemetery. Imagine that. You're not just walking along a defensive structure, you're walking over a place where countless lives were lost. But beyond the physical toll, there's something else fascinating about the wall. It wasn't just built to keep invaders out. More than defense, controlling the empire. The wall wasn't only about defense, it was also about controlling the movement of people and goods within the empire. Think of it like an ancient customs checkpoint. Certain sections of the wall were used to regulate trade along the Silk Road, ensuring that merchants paid their taxes and that no unauthorized goods made it in or out of China. The Silk Road was the lifeblood of ancient China, a trade route that connected the East with the West, allowing for the exchange of goods like silk, spices, and precious metals. The wall helped control this flow, preventing smugglers from bypassing taxes and keeping a watchful eye on who was coming in and out of the empire. It's pretty fascinating, right? The Great Wall wasn't just there to stop armies, it played a major role in managing trade and maintaining control over China's economy. It was far more than just a defensive line. It was a tool for the emperors to maintain power over both their enemies and their own people. The hidden secrets of the wall's construction. Here's a surprising fact. Parts of the Great Wall weren't made from stone or brick. Some sections were built using a material you probably wouldn't expect. Sticky rice. Yes, sticky rice. During the Ming Dynasty, rice flour was mixed with lime to create a strong, durable mortar that held the wall's bricks together. And believe it or not, this mixture was so effective that those parts of the wall have stood the test of time. It's incredible to think that an ancient solution involving something as simple as rice has helped preserve one of the most famous structures in the world. The mixture of sticky rice and lime was so strong that modern scientists have studied it to understand its durability. The use of organic materials like this in ancient construction was surprisingly advanced for the time, showing just how innovative the builders of the wall were. But here's another thing. The wall wasn't always made of solid materials. In some parts of China, especially in the remote desert areas, builders used materials like mud and tamped earth. These sections are much more vulnerable to erosion, and over time, large portions of these earth-built walls have disappeared. In fact, it's estimated that nearly 30% of the Great Wall is already gone. Time, weather, and even human destruction have taken their toll. This makes the preservation of what remains even more important, because the wall we know today is just a fraction of what it once was. The truth about the wall's effectiveness. But was the Great Wall as effective as its reputation suggests? Not always. While it certainly slowed down invasions, it wasn't impenetrable. In the 13th century, for example, Genghis Khan and his Mongol army found a way to break through the wall and conquer much of China. The Mongols weren't just skilled warriors, they were also expert strategists. They found weak points in the wall, bribed guards, and even used siege tactics to breach its defenses. The Great Wall wasn't an absolute barrier, but more of a deterrent, a way to delay invaders and force them to reconsider their approach. It was less about completely stopping them and more about buying time. By forcing invaders to spend more time and resources breaking through the wall, the Chinese Empire could better prepare its defenses further inland. This brings us to another interesting point. The Great Wall wasn't always continuous. In some areas, there were gaps, either due to the natural terrain or because the builders prioritized defending certain regions over others. These gaps could be as dangerous as they were strategic. If invaders found them, they could bypass the wall entirely. A symbol of power and human sacrifice. Let's not forget the human cost of this massive project. The workers who built the wall, millions of them over centuries, were often forced into labor. These weren't skilled architects or engineers, but farmers, prisoners, and soldiers, many of whom were torn from their families and sent to work under harsh conditions. For the rulers of China, the wall was a symbol of power and protection, but for the people who built it, the wall was a symbol of oppression, suffering, and in many cases, death. It's estimated that over 1 million workers died during the construction of the wall, especially during the early stages when the methods and conditions were even more brutal. And yet, despite this, the wall still stands. It has become not only a monument to China's military history, but also a reminder of the human cost that such grand ambitions often carry. The modern-day wall. Tourism, preservation, and controversy. Today, the Great Wall is one of the most visited landmarks in the world. Millions of tourists flock to China every year to walk along its ancient pathways. But what many don't realize is that the Great Wall is in danger. Erosion, weathering, and even graffiti are slowly destroying parts of the structure. In fact, it's estimated that around 30% of the wall has already disappeared. Efforts are being made to preserve what's left, but even those efforts come with controversy. Some sections of the wall have been heavily restored, and while that may keep them standing, it's led to debates about whether these restored parts still hold their historical value. For many historians and preservationists, the question is, how much restoration is too much? At what point does the Great Wall stop being a historical artifact and become more of a modern reconstruction? A wall with a legacy far beyond its stones. So, the Great Wall of China, more than just a wall, more than just a defense against invaders. It's a monument to the strength, ambition, and sacrifice of an ancient empire. But it's also a reminder of the cost of such grand undertakings, both in human lives and in the preservation of history itself. The next time you think of the Great Wall, remember that it's not just a marvel of engineering, it's a symbol of an empire's struggle to control its borders and its people, a symbol of power and, perhaps, of fragility. Thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed uncovering the secrets of the Great Wall, be sure to subscribe for more historical insights and let me know in the comments what other ancient wonders you'd like to explore.